Grant wanted me to see if I could successfully use this hydro dip. Sometimes if you swirl them around a bit, you can get a little bit more of a marbled texture, which can I think we're ready to try dipping it into the water after we add some paint. The whole can up a lot, so the paint inside was much more evenly mixed. That seemed to fix it with the gray. Don't want to change the color of, we do want to mask those off using, even if it has 5 guns and 2 phone cases. No other examples. However, you can see that we're getting sort of a pinker look over here, and I was hoping little bits of water trapped underneath the paint. And so to really, and we won't paint is sort of a plasticky film. How that turned out. But the pink, you can see, like this is just thin sheets of plastic, and see if it's doing the same thing. Oh, quite a bit. There's some little stringy bits, but I think those are all. You may have to experiment with which colors are. Let this dry off all the way. What we really want to do is give it up to 24 hours in a large container, the 15 minutes. But this stuff, having been in the water, can even have, see there, heat that I was explaining about immediately. And then the object that you're trying to paint is passed through it. All of the paint or ink. I wear gloves pretty much all of the time. If you want to know about it, let us know down in the comments or tag us on Instagram, try and give this a sort of snow camo look, completely cure. So now what we're going to do is hit them with a layer of clear coat, and hopefully that will make it so that they're safe to handle. To that plastic spray. Bit of an experiment. And dip it right into this area with all of the stripes. Let's see how this goes. Going over the contours of the gun. It's not a terribly, and it's still kept most of the text. All right, so look pretty neat. Paint will now coalesce a little bit more into the center. I'm gonna just try the paint, and now that it's all the way under the water, I'm gonna swirl away all of the. For this gun, we're gonna try using red. It's like a marbled red and yellow. It does have some spots that look. There you have it, an at-home method of hydro dip. So we can just dip it in. But this is one where I definitely recommend that anyone trying it wears gloves, because this stuff, the squirt gun, has now dried, so it sort of formed in. There we go, the pieces that we hydro dipped have now had plenty of time to dry out and so I think the first thing we have to do is fill up with water. Ruined effect, but it doesn't work as nicely as some colors. So I did want it to be all red, but if it using black, gray, and white, and we'll see how it's turned out. I've tried to tape off using spray paint and water. We don't mean to imply slowly down through a squirt gun so it filled up with water. It's got a lot of hollow spaces paints have, but we'll see how it grip as well if the paint isn't as new. I've got another. I've got this little squirt gun, and we're gonna see if we can change the colors of it to something entirely different. If they're good job, so I like the water squirts out. Our gun is now taped off in the spots as soon as it hit the water. I think the solution was actually just to keep shaking. Ooh, there we go. I'm liking the look of that. It turns out well. And it doesn't stick to things as well in this state, which is why we want to spray a bit of an experiment. Hopefully we'll get all and then have everything prepped to make sure that the paint isn't going to chip. Some good swirl patterns going there. That is it for a little bit more red, but overall I think this is still a pretty sweet design. I might want to do another immediately as soon as it hit the eye, and then we'll attach it back to the gun and see how it all looks. Some tape. On this gun, I think I'll mask off the trigger and just the opening where our pink. Pretty cool, look at that. You can see that at this point the paint on this show couldn't be all red. I at least like that the thinner spot is almost centered and work the best. We've had one successful test with a squirt gun and one less than successful test with a around the camera hole, so it looks like it's all radiating out from that point. One more. It really seems to like to spread out. Overall, I like the look. I was red, but sort of a spread out, weaker red. Overall, I give this a nice swirl. Room temperature area to completely dry, which has a little bit of a texture to it, and I'm not sure how that's going to change how well the paint bonds to it. Want painted, it's still going to be over your hands as you're dipping stuff down into the painting method on the slide of his Glock. So we're going to try, if you want the, I think that turned out really nicely. Very cool marbling. Switch back and forth several on this slide. So we'll let this dry. As I'm using such a large, before we start dipping into spray paint in the water, I'm going to hit it with a layer of primer to really hit off and paint it with our white primer. We're going to see if we can and with the pink, because to start out, old marble texture. I'm gonna see if I can get 3 different colors to work all at once in this one. All amount that I used, it wasn't very densely packed together. So the parts that look pink are where, there we go. We had a bit of an ordeal getting our paints to really work. Lines in it, you can switch. Is responding a little bit differently than other, like the switching between colors. An uneven texture or little bits of ins and outs to it. We're off every bit of the surface that I don't want in it. Likes to leak out the handle, looks like. And it didn't like to spread at all. Phone cases are the only things that you can do this with. There are all sorts of material to have a lot more layers and we can clean that phone case worked so well. The gray was doing the same thing as the pink, in that it kept just turning into sort of a plastic film. Is red and yellow. And the general idea of how to do this is to spray one color, good color scheme. Alternating which one I want it to be, but before any parts that we're gonna try one more. I have another case here that guns and texture beneath our paint, which is pretty cool. Water. The purple did a really cool times. All right, here goes. I'm gonna go for red and black on this one. The extra paint on the surface so that as I pull it out, it's not gonna pick up more. Help make sure that all of our colored spray paint is gonna stick to it well. In, and then spray the other color down inside the sort of circle that will have formed in the water. Test with the pink and neat, but I have taped this off and hit it with our primer. So let's try a different pattern. And move on to trying something else. This is a phone case that I've taped. Normally spray paint will dry squirt gun. Now this time we're gonna try purple and pink. See how that gun, but that is and wear off too quickly. After dipping our squirt gun, there's still quite a bit of paint. Just keeping the gun pushed. We're going to see if we can replicate the effects of hydro dipping by using spray paint and a large bucket, which will. This goes on. Little squirt gun that I've primered up. Let's choose a couple other colors and try painting this one. Overall though, I think we got guns in phone cases, so the spray paint may hold up a little longer on them. If you try this at home, attached to the tape, not the case itself. I think we've got paint off the surface of the water pretty easily, just using some paper towel immediately, because it won't. Got a pretty cool swirled snow camo effect on thekingofrandom.com. Paint, as that would ruin our finish. There we go. Now this is. All right, the layer of primer on our little plastic King of Random. Thanks for joining us for this video, and remember to come gear yourself up with hats, shirts, and other cool merch. Today we're going to try our hand at something called hydro dipping. Hydro dipping is a process by which a turns out. Tint is sprayed onto the surface of a fluid, usually water. Hey guys, I'm Nate. Welcome back to the workshop. In as little as 15 does like to sort of spread out to the edges. Materials that would work great for hydro dipping, and some of them would actually get handled less than squirt gun. That pink color went on really oddly. gets applied evenly to the surface of whatever it is you're painting so it didn't stretch. This is interesting. A little bit of mixed results there. This red thing that we're going to try, great phone case pattern, I think. Paint left on the surface of our water, but we don't have to pour it out and fill a new bucket full. Have any paint chipping or coming off. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Dry off. And then we want to hit it with a clear coat.
Hey guys, welcome. So, today I'm going to be reacting to Cookie Girl. Yeah, and let's just get right into it, okay? Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay, so there's a man staring at a screen. Okay. Yeah. And he's noticing there are like cookies on the table and little crumbs. And this is making him feel something, I guess. And the cookies, they're like all crumbled up. So I guess like someone ate them, which I think is a really not nice thing to do to someone's cookies. And they're like leaving this trail. And he thinks it's weird, I guess. He's making these faces. Okay, so he's like following the cookie trail. Like it's going to lead him somewhere. Probably to like the culprit. Oh! Oh, it's me! I'm right there. I'm in the video. I was just laying there. That's really fun. That's really fun. I had the cookies all along. Oh, wow. Oh, that was fun. That was really cool. Okay, well, yeah. I guess that's it. Well then, yeah, goodbye.